Welcome to the Marketing Revolution Podcast. This is the underground movement of savage marketers from all over the world. We are not Fortune 500 companies. We are real entrepreneurs with real businesses that have one major thing in mind: to set goals and devour them daily. Because we understand that everyone wants to eat, but only savage marketers are willing to do the hunt. Now let's get this revolution started. Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hiley here with the Marketing Revolution Podcast and the Marketing Savage Facebook group, coming to you today with a Savage Sunday sermon. What I want to talk to you guys about here is the real meaning of sin, what that actually means to you, what that means to me, and what you should consider moving forward, becoming the best version of you. I believe that a sin-free individual is the best version of him or herself, only for the reason, if you actually look at the real sin in the real context of the Bible lays it out. And it talks about sin is two things. It talks about sin is, number one, turning away from yourself, meaning that you, for a moment in time, was not who you were meant to be. For a moment in time, you turned away from who you are, your character, your core beliefs, what you actually value in life. You turned away from that for a moment in time. The second thing that sin means is to miss the mark, meaning for a moment in time, you were not the best version of yourself. You missed the mark. What is the mark? The mark is you being the absolute best you can be, the best version of yourself. So the one things that I learned from sin is that being real, being true to yourself, being an individual who does not turn away from yourself, does not turn away from your core values, your principles, the things that you know are right, and staying away from the things that you know are wrong. That's the meaning of sin. Sin is not being the absolute best you can be. It is missing the mark. Missing the mark of the excellence that's inside of each and every one of you. I truly believe that Jesus led a sin-free life because he never missed the mark. He was always the absolute best version of himself. And he never turned away from what he held as truth. Even when the Pharisees would question Jesus, he looked at the Pharisees and said, "I can't lie like you." The reason he got put on the cross is because he couldn't lie. He couldn't bullshit them. He couldn't tell them what they wanted to hear when it went against the way he felt, his truth, what he knew was right. He refused to do what was wrong. That's a man of principle. That's a man of strength. Did it mean he was perfect? Likely in his own eyes. But from the outside looking in, other people could say he was far from perfect. From the outside looking in, people could say when he flipped over tables in the church, got some twine up and chased people out of the house of God, told him not to be trading in his father's house, that might have been an explosion. That might have been a loss of temperature, or the loss of temper. But not to Jesus. That was him sticking to his guns, sticking to what he knew was right. And he didn't fall in line with what other people might deem as wrong. Now, if y'all picked up the newspaper tomorrow, you read in the newspaper that old John over here seen him over at the Catholic church over here on the corner out there gambling. And I ran out there and flipped over a bunch of tables, gathered up some twine, started smacking people with it. And I went to jail. You guys probably picked that up and you'd be like, what the fuck happened to John, right? What the fuck happened to John? He went over there and chased them good people away from gambling. He went and picked up some twine and and beat some old people off of the church lawn. Y'all would have looked at that newspaper and said something's fucking wrong with John. You don't think people thought that way about Jesus at that time? You know, who the fuck is this madman walking in there, beating people, you know, getting up some twine, beating people's animals out, chasing everybody out, flipping tables over? People didn't think, who the fuck is this crazy man? People didn't say, well, that man's in there sinning. But he wasn't, because he never turned away from himself. Now me, I'm just going to be honest with you. I feel kind of bad going over there and doing that to all them old people. So, you know, for me, that probably wouldn't work. Probably wouldn't work. But I'm a different person. You're a different person. You know, I believe that we all have them understandings of them core sins, you know, that shit that doesn't change. You shouldn't be fucking stealing from people. You shouldn't be killing people. You know, you shouldn't be. There's a lot of shit that you shouldn't do, and we just know. But then there's also like a lot of little sins that we just turn away from who we were. We lie about what we want. We lie to ourselves. We tell ourselves that mediocrity is okay when we know it's not. In the deepest level of our heart, we know it's not okay. But we lie to ourselves. That, my friends, is sin. So what I want you guys to consider over this week is, what are you lying to yourself about? What do you stand for? Are you stepping up? Are you letting people know what you stand for? You letting people know that you have boundaries in your life people can't fucking cross? My friends, that's what Jesus did. And I do believe the good book says to be like him. Did they mean I should run over to the Catholic Church across the street here, act like a crazy man, kick everybody off the front lawn? I don't think the Bible meant that. I think it meant that I just needed to be the best version of me. I needed to stay connected to my spirit and avoid the temptations of the flesh. That's the hard part, because these flesh temptations are hard, man. Hard. But each and every day, through Jesus, we got another chance. All right, everybody, I appreciate you for coming along on this Marketing Revolution podcast. And as usual, I'm going to see you on the next one.